Ethan was diagnosed with a critical illness, and doctors said he only had 3 months left. I refused to believe it, and teached myself medicine, trying to make a miracle happen. I scaled cliffs to gather rare herbs for him, and knelt down begging renowned doctors to take me as their apprentice. But once those 3 months were up, he brought his buddies over to laugh at me. What an idiot, can't even spot such shitty acting. So I broke up with him. Just days later, he got diagnosed with an actual terminal illness. He lay in bed day and night, refusing to eat or drink, begging just to see me one last time. I trekked down non-stop from the 5,000-meter plateau, hoping to get back early and bring these rare herbs back to cure Ethan's terminal illness. Without stopping, I hopped on a plane and then a train, sleepless all night, and finally made it home by 3 a.m. But the house was fully lit, not a hint of anyone winding down for sleep. My heart sank. Ethan's condition must have flared up again, and he couldn't sleep again. This time even sleeping pills weren't cutting it. He was just white-knuckling through till morning. Whenever he couldn't sleep, he'd be in agony with every nerve on edge. I'd dash through the ER to grab painkillers for him. Because of his illness, I'd mastered giving him painkiller shots and easing his suffering. He won't last more than 3 months. If there's anything left undone, better get it done now. The doctor's words kept playing in my head. My eyes burned, and tears overflowed. I gripped the backpack straps tighter. Thank God those cliffside herbs I risked my neck for were still inside. He better pull through fast, 'cause we've still got a million things to do together. We haven't had pets together, traveled together, or even gotten married. However, when I opened the door, I was met with takeout containers scattered everywhere and a couch packed with people, making it look more like a bar. This place has great soundproofing. I picked it back then, thinking Ethan's constant coughing from his health issues might annoy the neighbors. But now he was throwing a party here at home. Man, messing with a sucker's hilarious. Been at it this whole time and she never caught on. You guys gotta try it if you get the chance. Total riot, unlike anything else. Ethan said bluntly, treating me like nothing but a toy. If I hadn't come back early today, I'd never have known how long he was gonna keep this from me. How does she taste? That's our Ethan. You rock, Ethan. My vision went dark and my legs went weak. I didn't scream, cry, or lash out. I quietly shut the door. Before he said those words, I was still making excuses for him, thinking he just needed to let loose after being cooped up for too long. After all, we lived together. He'd even stifle his coughs, careful not to disturb me. Now that he finally had the chance, he naturally wanted to blow off steam. But I never imagined his illness was all a sham, just to humiliate me. The herbs in my backpack, the scars on my thighs, all of it felt like some sick joke. I was naive enough to believe Ethan was different from the rest, that he actually cared about me. But now it seems he's just like the rest, getting kicks out of messing with me and having a laugh at my expense. These are all things I never knew. As a kid, everyone thought I was slow and called me a fool. Nobody wanted to hang out with me, except Ethan, who stuck with me day after day. I followed him around year after year, making sure he noticed how I felt. He had no shortage of admirers. I was just another face in the crowd. Then he fell gravely ill. Everyone scattered like rats, but I gripped his hand tight, mirroring how he'd stayed by me when we were kids. I always thought it was fate how this perfectly fine guy could suddenly get sick, and actually ended up saying yes when I confessed my feelings. If I could, I'd rather stay alone forever to keep him safe, even if we're parallel lines that never meet. The reason he fell ill so suddenly and agreed to my confession was because he staged this whole thing himself. There are no such coincidences. It was all deliberate. Someone suddenly exclaimed, "Sis, sister-in-law." Ethan's lazy posture snapped upright, all his schemes vanished in an instant. Everyone else quickly caught on to what was happening and made a quick escape. After everyone left, I dropped my backpack and told him point blank we were done. He didn't even argue, just muttered a single okay. I was puzzled. Ethan's one of the top rich guys in City A. How could an ailment be untreatable for someone like him? But now I know the truth. It wasn't that he refused treatment, he was never sick to begin with. The room was dead silent. Ethan spoke up first. What happened? Why are you bleeding? His voice shook, brows furrowed nervously as he spoke. I glanced down calmly. The wound must be reopened, but it's just a bit of blood. I want to die. Meanwhile, Ethan looked as if the world was ending. None of your business. Before I could finish speaking, he scooped me up and dashed to the hospital. The left side of my thigh was a bloody mess, tightly bandaged but still speckled with uncleaned gravel and tiny stones, making the whole limb look absolutely gruesome. Miss, your wound's festering and swollen from the weather. We'll disinfect it now. This might sting, so bear with me. Ethan's eyes were red as he demanded, what the hell happened? Wasn't he the one who knew everything? Wasn't he supposed to be sick? But all I wanted was to save him. The last thing I wanted was to see him die. My mother left me, my father too, leaving me all alone in this world. Just when I finally found someone to love, he's about to slip away before me. So I found online that there's this rare herb on a steep cliff. They say if you can harvest and brew it, any stubborn illness can be cured. Even though the rumor seemed shaky, I still wanted to give it a shot if there was a chance. What if it actually worked? The highlands had thin oxygen, muddy roads, and ever-changing weather. One wrong step could kill you. Few people ever ventured there. Isn't this wound the best proof of my love for him? Since childhood, people have called me a fool. So is loving Ethan wholeheartedly my innate talent. The herb was delicate, only growing in crevices. I used every bit of my strength to yank it out, but I pulled too hard and sent myself tumbling backward. My thigh scraped against the rocks as I rolled around several times before coming to a stop. My left leg took the worst hit and got mangled the deepest. Fortunately, the heavens spared me. I didn't even think twice, just slapped on a makeshift bandage and bolted back. Compared to my own life, Ethan mattered more. I am who I am today because of him. If it weren't for him taking my hand without hesitation back then, I wouldn't even be here today. So I gotta keep going and make it back to our place. What if he is afraid of the dark at home alone? What if he feels lonely by himself? What if he can't fall asleep all by himself? Then what? I clenched my teeth against the pain, but God, it hurt when the alcohol sprayed. It felt like a million arrows tearing through my chest, pure torture. The pain left my face ghostly pale and drenched me in sweat. Ethan barked at the nurse, "Get your damn doctor here for anesthesia. Trying to kill people or what?" His voice dripped with scornful arrogance. This is my choice. What's it to you, Mr. Liu? Who do you think you are? He rasped. After all, we just broken up. I'm your friend. But I don't consider him one. Sorry, I don't have a cold-blooded friend like you. After the procedure, an hour later, the pain was so intense I nearly blacked out. To prevent my thigh tissue from dying off later, the hospital straight up made me check in. Ethan was busy running around handling my hospital admission. Honestly, if he'd been my boyfriend then, I would have cried my eyes out. And swore to myself right then that I'd never marry anyone but him. Just leave. I don't want to see you. Don't you dare feel guilty. It was my own stupid fault for having to go and fall for you. This was all me, none of this is on you. Ethan dropped what he was holding and walked out of the room. He was still the same as ever, doing exactly what he was told. He walked out of the ward without looking back, cold and heartless, while I stumbled after him and leaned against the doorframe, watching him leave. I prayed silently, hoping he'd turn around and explain things. Even if he lied, as long as he spoke up, I'd believe him. But he kicked the trash can impatiently. You think I want to babysit you? Screw that. Who do you think you are? Played along with her little show and suddenly you're the damn leading lady? I thought he actually felt bad about my love. But it was all to save his own pride. He'd wanted to leave ages ago, but just said it too late. If I'd known sooner, he wouldn't have had to act in this solo show of mine. It's my fault, all my fault for selfishly trying to keep him with me. I didn't mention how I got hurt and just made up some excuse about slipping and falling on the road. He never even noticed that my clumsy lie actually fooled him. After all, he never took my words to heart. To him, I was never that important. Maybe over drinks, he'd toss out my stories to laugh at me with his boys, saying I'm a total simp. Fortunately, there was nothing seriously wrong with me, just had to go to the hospital every night to get my dressings changed. After returning home, I stared blankly at the portioned Chinese medicine packets in the fridge. Brewing herbal medicine requires real know-how, getting the herbs to water ratio right, squatting by the stove in sweltering heat to mind the simmering pot. You gotta stay focused and keep an eye on it, or the water'll dry out in a split second. Every week I brewed his medicine. He'd always whine about the bitterness, so I'd sweet talk him into taking it with whatever tricks I could think up, praying that damn illness would quit messing with him. If I could, I'd take this pain for him. Otherwise, why would he complain about the bitter medicine? A dying man with 3 months left wouldn't have such sensitive taste? Otherwise, why would he claim he hated the medicine? Since when do healthy folks enjoy chugging bitter brews? He played along with my charade, must be been tough on him. Now that he's cured and gone, these herbs are useless, so I tossed it all in the trash along with whatever love I had left. It's ridiculous, after all these years sleeping right next to him, I never realized he was faking his sickness. His midnight coughing was actually a preset alarm clock all along, completely intentional. He even timed it perfectly so I could faintly hear his coughing in my sleep, day in and day out, year after year. Why did he go through all this trouble? Was it even worth lying to me? I prayed for him day and night, searched for every top doctor, and trekked to the ends of the earth. As long as I drew breath, I clung to hope. My heart's gone cold. If I'd known it'd end like this, I should have just died alone with my parents that freezing winter night. At least then I wouldn't be this lonely. There was a knock. I opened the door to find Ethan reeking of booze, then immediately slammed it in his face. "You're not welcome here." But he didn't listen to a word I said, drunkenly slurring nonsense. All I caught through his mumbling were broken phrases about needing medicine and feeling like crap. Still after the medicine? Wasn't he cured already? What's he trying to pull now? Didn't he complain it was bitter? What's this new act he's putting on? Maybe his drunkenness was just another act. I splashed a basin of icy water on his face, snapping him slightly awake. He trembled as he clutched my hands. "Isabella, I can't live without you. Even one day without taking that medicine makes me feel awful." I shoved him off. His misery wasn't my business, I'm no damn doctor. Looking back, it's almost laughable I lived each 24-hour day as if it were 48, working shifts then scrambling to medical school lectures. Piles of books cluttered my place, cracked open whenever insomnia hit at midnight. I looked for cases like Ethan's, but even after flipping through the books till the pages frayed, I found nothing close. Worried I wasn't skilled enough, I begged every master I could find to take me on. However, I wasn't even in the right field and had zero medical chops. Nobody would take me on as an apprentice. Luckily, I got certified just enough to show I knew some basics. I'd kneel in his yard whenever free, not for money or fame, but begging him to teach me how to cure Ethan's illness. "This is the only thing I want in this life." Dr. Chin stormed out, dumped dirty dishwater over my head, and barked at me to get the hell out of his place. I threw away my pride, clutching his pant leg, begging him to take me as his student. I kept banging my head on the ground, each heavy thud vibrating through the crowd. My head was split and bleeding, my brain nearly scrambled. Finally, Dr. Chin agreed to take me in, but only until Ethan got better, after which I'd leave. I nodded. All I ever wanted was for Ethan to get better. With his guidance, I picked up pulse diagnosis and acupuncture in no time, and even pitched in at the clinic during busy hours. I thought he was just too weak and only had 3 months left, but I couldn't even figure out what was wrong with him. I poured endless effort into trying to save him, only to end up with nothing. What was it all for? All him, all our future. Memories flooded back, cutting deep like a knife. Ethan, pale-faced, collapsed into my arms, weakly murmuring my name. Seeing how pale he was, I rushed him to the hospital. The results came back quickly: acute lung cancer requiring major surgery, with only about 3 months left. I couldn't help but scoff. Ethan actually dragged doctors into his charade to win me back. The man was taking his act way too far now. Didn't they say 3 months last time? Look at him now, still alive and kicking. Ethan, cut the crap. I'm not you, I don't have time for your games. Thanks for playing along before. Name your price, I'll pay you back even if I have to sell the shirt off my back. Director Lou, next time, don't go through all this trouble. Thinking he was lying, I went home. 5 days later, Ethan's news reached me again. His buddy called, stammering, "Sis. Ethan's in the hospital. He wants to see you one last time. He might only have 2 months left." 2 months now? Just the other day the doctor said 3. I hung up, didn't buy it. Then a video popped up. Ethan lay in bed riddled with tubes, the sheets stained crimson, traces of dried blood smeared at the corners of his mouth. Looks like he wasn't faking it after all. I dug out the herb packets I'd thrown away and grabbed back from the fridge, then rushed over. Was he actually ill? Whatever, maybe just treat this as our last goodbye. Seeing me, Ethan managed a tired but genuine smile. He was coughing so hard his lungs might burst, yet he tried to suppress it, staring at me with helpless panic. Then, he nonchalantly apologized again. Sorry, Isabella. I really did try to trick you at first. I made a big fuss about my illness, only to have everyone avoid me and call me a sickly weakling. But then I realized you're the only one who ever truly gave a damn about me. My bad, all of it. I'm running out of time. Just stay till the end, yeah? Ethan pleaded with me, afraid I'd turn him down. This was Ethan's karma, he totally deserved it, every damn bit. Alright, beg me. As soon as the words left my mouth, Ethan dropped to his knees with a thud, his eyes bloodshot. Isabella, I'm begging you. You're the only one I've got left. If you walk away too, I don't know how I'll keep living. Your acting's not as good as before, Ethan, I jeered, seeing him as nothing but a pathetic creep. We had so many chances to open up and speak from the heart, but he kept joking around, just wanting to make fun of me. Should be thought about that earlier. I turned to leave and said I didn't have time, but he held me tight. Even though he was seriously ill, he was still a grown man with more than enough strength to overpower me. I was trapped in his arms, I couldn't move. Mrs. Lou burst in. Isabella, I heard about you and my son. Don't worry, I'll make it work. Just pick a good date for the wedding. For now, I'll have to ask you to stay with him. As a mother, I never asked for much, just wanted him to live safe and sound. But life's full of unexpected events, never thought it'd come to this. Spending his last days married to you is all he wants now. Her voice trembled with emotion. I hadn't even agreed yet, but the two of them already had me stuck in a dilemma. Ethan said to me with deep sincerity, Isabella, trust me this time, okay? I'll prove my sincerity to you. I won't act like before I was immature back then. I've changed now, I swear I'll do right by you. Right now, Ethan just disgusts me. To get me, he came up with this scheme. He knew I was soft-hearted and couldn't say no to people, so he ruthlessly played me like a fiddle. He didn't realize his sincere act now mirrored exactly how he tricked me before. Even if he truly loved me, so what? Love's just another performance. Isabella's truths and lies are all tangled up, even he can't tell what's real anymore. 3 months, huh? A wedding? Fine, I'll do it. When Ethan saw me agree, a smile I hadn't seen in ages spread across his face. He hugged me tight and spun me around the hospital room. People outside peered through the door with admiring gazes. They thought illness and pain hadn't torn us apart, but little did they know this was just a show I was putting on with him. After 3 months we'd go our separate ways, he'd descend to his hell while I'd get on with my life. Since agreeing to his wedding request, he dragged me to bridal shops every day for dress fittings, and even flew in an overseas wedding dress designer to custom make a gown for me. But I found it a hassle. I couldn't care less, I didn't love him one bit anymore, felt nothing inside. Just wanted to wrap this up and get on with my own life. Before, I'd get all giddy for hours just from some random soda can ring he'd pick up and slide onto my finger. But now, decked out in this fancy wedding dress with the so-called love of my life beside me, my head screamed one thing: run. Marrying someone I don't love is killing me. I tentatively asked Ethan, what if you don't survive the 3 months and leave me a widow? He thought I was worried about him, let out a choked laugh, and said, then let's move the date up. Better get it done sooner so we won't have to stress about that. That would be perfect. After all, I've never seen a grand wedding turn into a funeral scene. I can't wait for that day to come. Every time we went to the hotel for rehearsals, I'd send Ethan away with some noble excuse about being concerned for his health. Hearing this, Ethan was thrilled and would do whatever I told him. The wedding venue was simply elegant, with some plaques set to arrive on the day itself. The rest? Just consider it a surprise for him. The wedding day flew by in the blink of an eye. I put on a different simple wedding dress, and Ethan shot me a displeased look, demanding why I wasn't wearing the one we'd picked. I'm worried if something happens at the wedding, I need to be ready to drop everything and take care of you right away. Ethan fell silent and apologized, thinking I didn't want to marry him, but it turned out I was just concerned about him. He was truly beyond saving, deceiving himself like that. The guests were all wealthy or influential figures well known in their circle. The Liu family even brought in the media, firstly to announce Ethan's marriage to the world, and secondly to position me on this moral pedestal, ensuring I'd never escape their control. Everything was planned all along. All that talk about sincerity, true love, regrets, it was all fake. He never loved me. I was just a bargaining chip in his game of love. Midway through the wedding, when my turn came to speak, I lifted my dress to reveal the mottled scars on my thigh, demanding Ethan explain what they were. He said it was just a fall. Ethan, you really are sick. Do you know how I got hurt? I was worried you didn't have much time left, so I went alone to the mountains to pick herbs for you and took a fall. Now you know, don't you? Why were there stones and gravel there? Was it really just some random accident? I thought these herbs could fix what was wrong with you, but you were just faking it all along. How am I supposed to fix a lie? When Ethan was healthy, he loved hiking and exploring remote highlands. He knew exactly how rough those trails could get, and how slim the chances were for a woman to survive up there. I thought the toughest road was climbing to the highlands, but the real hardest path turned out to be the journey of true love. People always picture this winding path as a flower-filled one, covered in scars yet feeling no pain. You asked why I suddenly cut my bangs, and I told you I just wanted to switch up my hairstyle. I pushed up my bangs, revealing the stitched scars on my forehead. This is the price of my arrogance, thinking I could play Cupid and beg others to teach me how to cure you. Stitch after stitch, I truly believed I was the biggest fool. A fool who kept falling for your lies again and again but still trusted you no matter what. Yeah, now I'm finally ready to admit I'm a fool. When people called me a fool before, I'd argue with them, but now I see I'm nothing but a total idiot. I've never hated like this before. The crushing emotions were about to swallow me whole. I hated the world's unfairness, hated Ethan's constant insincerity, hated my own weakness and helplessness, and most of all, hated watching it all unfold without being able to lift a finger. I took off my wedding dress, revealing the casual sportswear underneath. With a clap of my hands, the once festive decorations instantly transformed into a funeral setup. The entire hotel crowd froze in stunned silence. Ethan stared at me in disbelief. What are you doing? It's our wedding day. Can't we handle this at home? Look, I messed up before, but I'll fix it, okay? Just trust me this once, please? Ethan begged me pitifully, but it's too late now, way too late. The plaques and wreaths were carried in as the cheerful music abruptly changed to a mournful tune. Mrs. Liu's voice turned icy, jaw clenched as twin flames ignited in her eyes. What's wrong with my son? He's dying and still insisted on marrying you. You heartless snake. He's skipping treatment just to marry you. Ethan stepped in front of me. Mom, this is between her and me. Stop giving her shit. I beamed at him, like the surprise I got you. Dead early or late, you're still dead. I put together this big send-off for you, and the wreaths are ones I hand-picked myself so you can rest easy down there. Putting up with this act was such a drag, but now I get why you couldn't hold it in back then. Must be been exhausting, putting on this act with me for 3 years, then another 3. Tears streamed down like a bursting dam. Ethan crouched on the ground, clutching his head, forcing out a pained smile at me. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. I was bound to die soon anyway. Seeing you handle all this yourself still brings me happiness, you know? I had nothing left to say to Ethan. I loved the old Ethan, the brave one who didn't care what anyone thought. The moment he took that first step of lying to me, I was already done loving him. He's completely insane. I packed up my toiletries and clothes and headed to another city to unwind. There's been too much going on lately, I need to unwind. That night, the long-dormant residence group chat suddenly lit up with layers of new messages. It was Ethan. He kept saying he wouldn't stop until I opened the door. It was midnight, and though the apartment had decent soundproofing, whenever the doorbell rang, the motion sensor lights blinked on and off, which kept bugging the neighbors. Someone in the chat recognized him as my boyfriend. The group chat lit up with chatter, everyone convinced I was out this late hustling to cover Ethan's medical bills. Even strangers knew I was out working this late. Only Ethan didn't know the rest of the world knew while he stayed bamboozled. If he'd just put a bit more heart into me, if he'd shown even a shred more care, he would have known I loved him more than myself. I could skip meals and drinks, but he deserved nothing but the finest. I posted in the group chat, he's not my boyfriend. Please have security remove the intruder from the complex. A kind-hearted auntie tried to calm us down, saying, young couples squabbling is all part of the deal. But a broken mirror can't be fixed, I know we've got no future. Ethan called to ask for my forgiveness. Forgive him? What's the point? My heart was still wasted. After getting a warning from security, he stopped ringing the doorbell. But he wouldn't back down, camped outside my door, insisting he'd wait for me to come back and let him in. After I'd had my fill of fun, I headed home. I couldn't tell whether he hadn't eaten or his condition had worsened, but he'd become nothing but skin and bones. Seeing me come back, he stumbled over in a rush. I turned when he stumbled and fell, blood pooling around him. Stop acting like a corpse. Nobody pities you. Don't croak at my doorstep, ugh, bad luck, and you'll tank our neighborhood's property value. If you wanna die, go vanish quietly alone. Stay the hell out of my sight. I kept ranting at him non-stop. A kind neighbor called an ambulance and got him to the hospital. Mrs. Lou's voice came from outside as she desperately begged me to see Ethan one last time. Weird, he'd told me his family relations were awful, yet here she stood in her fancy outfit, practically begging me to visit the hospital. She even stood up for her son at the wedding. So much for old habits dying hard. Not a single word coming out of Ethan's mouth was ever true. I know you hate him, but everyone makes mistakes. He's dying. If you hate him that much, go yell at him to his face, okay? Like mother, like son. They even sound exactly the same. Since he was about to kick the bucket, might as well go see him. Ethan had already gotten his critical condition notice anyway. While I was off taking a breather, he'd stopped taking his meds against doctor's orders, sending his health spiraling downhill. That body of his could have lasted longer if he hadn't messed it up himself. Serves him right. Ethan clung to my hand, refusing to let go. You hate me, right? I'm dying and won't get another chance. Let me hold you just this once. All these years. I owed you an apology. I messed up, hurt you bad. When I'm gone, do whatever with my corpse. Use my ashes for plant food or fish feed, doesn't matter, as long as you're happy. His voice cracked, tears rolling down his face. You're disgusting, I hissed through gritted teeth. He held my hand. Fine, fine. After I croak, I'll keep my distance so you stay spotless. As he finished speaking, the lines on the monitor flatlined. The medical team scrambled for last-ditch efforts, but nothing could bring him back. Nearby, Lou's mother made a triumphant gesture while calling the board to transfer all Ethan's shares into her name. In that moment, I realized their bad relationship was real. No wonder they were grinning as Ethan lay there on his deathbed. Mrs. Lou came begging because they'd struck a secret deal, and I was the linchpin in their scheme. We'd broken up and I'd decided to move on, yet this faint ache lingered in my chest. Tears fell like snapped necklace beads, but my eyes stayed cold and sharp as blades. I grabbed his blood-stained collar, yelling through gritted teeth, "Didn't you say you were sorry? Then get up and apologize. Don't you dare close your eyes. If you don't say I'm sorry 1,000 no, 10,000 times I'll never forgive you. I'll toss your corpse to the sharks and flush your ashes down the fucking toilet." But there was no answer anymore. The nurse held on to me, trying to calm me down and get me to face what had happened. From the day I found out he was sick, I'd braced myself. Afraid that I'd wake up one day and he wouldn't be there, I kept pushing myself to get used to it, over and over. I hated him, but my hate came from love. Because I loved him, that's why I hated him. When he actually died before my eyes, all my pretenses crumbled instantly. I had his body cremated and bought a plot in the suburbs to bury him. In just 3 months, everything had flipped completely from mutual admiration to pure hatred between us. Perhaps we never trusted each other, maybe our love wasn't fierce enough, or perhaps he never truly loved me from the start. Mrs. Lou dumped all his stuff right on my doorstep. In the world of the wealthy, only interests matter. To them, Ethan was just dead weight. As long as he stuck around, the company's performance kept tanking. Who'd want to follow some frail guy trying to run the business? Yet he was such a hopeless romantic, willing to hand over all his shares just to marry me. But the wedding turned into a funeral, and he ended up with nothing. He resented it, but had to accept the truth. The one he loved no longer loved him. Her heart had long been shattered and dead. It was all his own doing, his karma. Do I have regrets? Maybe not. This was the road I chose, and it's where it all ends. I loved him, pursued him with passion, loved and hated him all the same. But his love came too late, and I just couldn't hold on anymore. He didn't have much left besides clothes, just some random trinkets and a photo album. All these things were tied to me. They were gifts I gave him on anniversaries or his birthdays. Handmade trinkets might not be as polished as designer stuff, but each one came straight from the heart. The small photo album was filled with pictures of me, all clearly dated, mostly showing my back from behind. These were all taken by Ethan back then. Did he love me? Maybe he did, or maybe he never really understood what love was, never truly knew his own heart. The world moves on, out with the old, in with the new. I stashed these things in the storage closet and brought a bouquet to visit Ethan. I thanked him for sticking with me through the hard times and playing along with this charade, even when he didn't love me. As the sun dipped below the horizon, it was time for me to go. From now on, we'll never cross paths again. There's no connection left between us. We're strangers from here on out, never to meet again.